Shalom Israel. Shalom Israel. You know what it is. Kentucky A Podcast. It's your it's your boy Captain Kapash here. You know what I mean? Little will the rest of the brothers get in, but we're gonna get straight into it because we was really uh last episode we was dropping on something heavy. Uh Before we ended it. We didn't have enough time to finish it. Let me get this page right. We didn't have enough time to finish it, but with this story, we're just gonna segue from this story into the next one because this was heavy. This was basically these black women that they were using for pawns in the what's it called, the Democratic Party. Okay, give us a sec. Let's get it together. Mhm. All right, we're gonna get it in now.
On this day in Louisville, Kentucky, these 8 men went to camp to speak the words of the Most High Power. And as they had done countless times before, but on this day, they were attacked by a vile mob of heathens and sinful men who sought to take their lives and stop them from raising up the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel.
That's right.
However, in accordance to their training and the love that they had for one to another, they fought their attackers side by side,
That's right.
shoulder to shoulder,
Right.
on to death if necessary.
That's right.
And at the end of the conflict, they prevailed and returned to their homes and to their brethren and their wives and their children. All was lost except one thing they brought back. They brought back the Bible
That's right.
and delivered it back to this nation.
Shalom Israel. You know what it is. This is Kentucky 8 Podcast. Shalom Israel. Kentucky 8 Podcast, as you heard. You know what I mean? So let's get straight into it. All right. Oh, what is this? A big old. There you go. So this is a story we was getting into the other day. Of what the Democratic Party is using tons of black women to push their party. And we're not getting nothing in return. Black people are getting nothing in return for supporting the Democratic Party and riding for the Democratic Party the way we have.
Every thought, every step you take to get into a new infinity. From online purchase and leasing to
The commercial. But yeah, we done fought tooth and nail for the Democratic Party only to get nothing. Joe Biden got in office, made all them executive orders, didn't make a single one for black people. Didn't make a single one for black women, the main supporters.
Get you registered, okay? I think that the apathy
This is to run around getting everybody to vote.
grown and has just become so pervasive in our community.
She's so worried about the world and the community and everything like that. She ain't got her household in order. She ain't got no husband.
We have to get back to empowering people.
She ain't doing this with her husband if she did have one. So you sure she don't got her situation together? Because she shouldn't be out here on the streets running up to random people. If she got a husband, he should be with her, or at least making sure she's safe.
She doesn't work for any campaign, but since
And
August, she says she spends 3
she ain't even
days
getting paid.
every week between her full-time job and taking care of 2 kids, using that energy to try and convince fellow Detroiters their vote matters.
I talk to you. On countless days when I go out and canvass, I will go up and talk to someone and they'll say, listen, lady, I know that what you're saying is probably right. I know that you just want me to, get out and vote, but I'm sorry. I got to feed my kids. I don't even have time to listen to what you're saying. And that's a part of why I started doing this work with Mobilize Detroit. Because at this point, this is our survival now.
10,704. What does that number mean to you?
Is that how many votes Trump won by?
That's exactly how many votes.
So that number, it hurts. It hurts.
Wayne County, which includes Detroit, went for Hillary Clinton by a wide margin.
Why would it hurt so bad? You know what I mean? Like, you love the white man so much that you hate to see him lose when he ain't did nothing for black people? It's insane. All right, let's get more.
But she got about 76,000 fewer votes there than Obama did in 2012. Remember, Trump won the entire state by just 10,704 votes.
Are you voting for Joe Biden, or are you more voting against Donald Trump?
80% against Donald Trump, 20% for Joe Biden. I would say that.
And I'm gonna fast forward. We went through it this couple sisters last week, and
Office right down
it's a shame
from the Democrats,
that so many black women put so much time and energy instead of fixing our community. They're worried about voting so somebody else can fix the community.
Of COVID, we lost that personal.
There's just a lack of accountability
to get them excited,
that
to get them engaged.
These type of political type people don't want to take. Instead of them making the difference, they're sitting trying to get us to vote for somebody else to make a difference in the world. Fuck them. We're the ones that's going to make a difference.
The Democratic Party has not done a great job at grassroots engagement, making sure that they're going door to door and educating people. But I do think that what we saw with George Floyd did spark a reaction in so many people, and I think that's going to help also increase some of the voter turnout that we see in Detroit.
Are you going to help me?
Everyone always talks about on TV. They always talk about how black women are the backbone of the Democratic Party.
We are. Black women are the backbone.
But do you think the Democratic Party takes you for granted?
Absolutely. Absolutely, they take us for granted because they know that black women are going to help them get the big wins they need where it matters. But they also know that they can give us the bare minimum, knowing that we aren't going to choose the other side.
What does that say about the country?
It says we still got a long way to go when the backbone of the country is the most neglected.
Such a simple woman. You understand? Such a simple woman who don't understand what's going on in the world. Doesn't understand what it takes. Doesn't understand what's going on. All right, brothers posted the scripture. We got one of the brothers popped in the stream. Hey, mighty man. Can we hear? Oh, your mic is off. All right. So we're gonna get the rest of the story. Your mic's still off. Let me know when you come in. But we're gonna get this next one. This is a scripture with it, Jeremiah 4:30. And when thou art spoiled, what wilt thou do? Though thou clothe thyself with crimson, you dress all nice for them, you act all run around trying to get 1,000,000 votes. Though thou deckest thee with ornaments of gold, though thou rentest thy face with painting, in vain shalt thou make thyself fair. Thy lovers will despise thee. They will seek thy life. What these black women don't know is the same Democratic parties that they vote for are part of the reason that's going to put a target on their back and make them targets and make these conservatives want to attack them. That's what it's coming down to. All right, this goes right into this story right here. Pregnant black woman lynched by North Carolina Trump-loving couple. A beautiful 28-year-old North Carolina woman was brutally murdered, and her body was found stuffed in a suitcase last Monday. MTO News has learned that police have charged a white couple with the murder of a missing pregnant mother of two. Let's get the story.
What's up, family? If it's your first time checking out the show, let me know
Oh,
what
no,
city, what state you're coming.
That's something else. That ain't on the story. Let's read it. Brittany Simone Smith, 28, only 28 years old. Such a young, beautiful woman who has such potential in life to go places, to go far and get a good black husband and everything. But she messed it up by dealing with the oppressor, dealing with Esau. Make sure y'all hit that like button and share the podcast. All right, let's get into this system. She was last seen alive on February 4th. Her body was found stuffed inside a suitcase near Noise River in Raleigh, according to sheriff's office. Brittany's official cause of death is strangulation, with police telling the media that something was wrapped around her neck and tightened. She was possibly hanged. And while police are refusing to disclose a motive for the murder, social media sleuths suspect that it may have been a racial lynching. Authorities have arrested Thomas Clayton Johnson and Grace Trevathan and charged the two with murder and murder of an unborn child and concealment of a body. These people were Trump supporters. These people were Trump supporters, and they murdered this woman and stuffed her in a suitcase. This is what you have to deal. This is what we have to deal with when we're dealing with these people. This is what we're dealing with. Okay, and it's not helping us at all to be around these people, to love these people. They're murdering us. And black women, same black women, want to get with the Democratic Party, want to get to voting, want to do all this and that. That's part of the reason why. It's part of the reason why. Because we want to love them and be around them and support them and everything they do. We want to support their race, their presidency, and everything like that, instead of dealing with our own people. Like the scripture we read earlier, their lovers shall despise thee. All right? They're going to despise thee. Hey, shalom, mighty mans.
Shalom, Lord Christ.
Let me know when you're ready. You go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Right. I'm Officer Musquala, coming out of Dayton, Ohio, rocking it out. Y'all thumb be over here in a bit, but you know. Shalom.
Most High in Christ, some of the Kentucky 8 brothers themselves. Your camera's off too. You can fix that. So I'm gonna go on to the next story, but it's a tragedy that this 28-year-old sister is lynched and murdered. You know, she lynched and murdered and dead. Okay, dealing with these devils. They still murdering us even to this day. We're gonna go to the next story. There's a lot of stories we got, but that's just a tragedy, man. It's a tragedy that happened to her. They lynched her. She's pregnant too, so she was pregnant while they lynched her. Okay. She was pregnant while they lynched her. Bubba Wallace starts at back of Daytona 500 field after number 23 car fails inspection twice. Hold on 1 second. Let me see if this is the right story. So Bubba Wallace is basically basically black.
If I could.
Go ahead, Warrior.
He's perceived as black. I think actually his father's the devil. I think his mother is black. But he was kind of in the middle of that whole Black Lives Matter for the for that racing world, and they stopped having the Confederate flag and many other changes because he kind of stood up. But I believe he's still a devil though.
They don't even want a half devil coming in. I mean, a full devil with a little bit of nigger blood in him, I guess.
Right.
So let's see. It said his car failed inspection twice, and you know the Daytona and all them race car people is super racist, and you know they super racist. Greg Emmer, the car chief of 23X1 Racing, was ejected as punishment. The number 3 Toyota passed inspection on the 3rd attempt. Wallace drives a new entry owned by NBA great Michael Jordan and 3-time Daytona winner Denny Hamlin. He has slated to start the Great American Race in the 3rd row. Instead, Wallace was one of 10 drivers who had to drop to the back of the pack during pace laps. Look, they already cheating on him. 9 others already lost their starting spots because of modifications made after NASCAR's twin 150-mile qualifying race Thursday. Former Cup Series champion Keselowski in front row and William Blah switched back up, blah, blah, blah. The team had to change a radiator and oil cooler. Eric Jones' team changed an engine. 14 laps into the Daytona 500, Erica Almirola turned into pole winner Alex Bowman and started a 16-car pileup. Minutes later, the race was stopped by lightning, and fans who had been socially distanced in the grandstands instead had to seek shelter in the crowded concourse. Heavy rain followed, shutting down the race for a delay that lasted nearly 6 hours. Mitchell McDonald was glued to Brad Keselowski's bumper, watching and waiting for his chance to win the Daytona 500. Joe Logano was the leader. The laps were winding down, and yet no one had the nerve to pull out of traffic. Oh, okay, I think we got a video. Let's see if the video covers it all. Yeah, man, they're finally trying to get half of a black person into NASCAR.
Team Penske cars crash. Keselowski is up in a ball of flame, up into the outside wall. He'll take Kyle Busch with him. Everybody now racing off the corner in a horrific crash on the final lap of the Daytona 500.
Caution is on the speedway. Caution is on the speedway. We'll wait and see who was the race leader when the caution flag came out. Keep in mind, they have it frozen. As soon as the caution flag comes out, scoring freezes.
All right, so that's basically the build up to what was happening. Basically, their brother was in a certain spot, or they perceive as a brother, before the accident happened, and they guess they cheated a little bit.
Yes, ma'am.
Hold on a sec.
Yeah, we're racing, and whenever it stops racing.
Hold on now. But yeah, but that's what you can expect. You can expect a white man to cheat. You know, that's what he does. He still kills and destroys. A 100-to-1 underdog. Hold on. Joe Logano was the leader. The laps were winding down, and yet no one had the nerve to pull out of traffic. McDowell was certain Keselowski would go for it. Eventually, when he did, McDowell would play his hand. On the final lap, Keselowski attempted to dart around Logano, but Logano threw a block on his teammate that crashed them both. McDowell stayed right where he was, flat in the gas, and drove through a crash scene for a stunning upset. I knew he would go for a race-winning move, and my plan was to let him make that move, McDowell said. I knew I didn't want to make my move too early, so I was committed to the bumper. And when he made the move, the hole opened up. A 100-to-1 underdog when the race began Sunday afternoon, McDowell won for the first time in 358 Cup starts. When the checkered flag finally flew about 15 minutes after midnight, the race was stopped by rain for almost 6 hours and ended 9 hours after the green flag waved. There's been lots of years where I was wondering, what the heck am I doing? What am I doing? McDowell said. I always knew if I just kept grinding that one day everything will line up and go right. And Kyle Larson was back after nearly a year in exile for using a racial slur, and reigning Cub champion Chase Elliott was going for his first Daytona win. Well, at the end of the day, what we're looking at here is some more. You're going to get tons of racism. If you're going to join in that white man's world, which that's what it is. The NASCAR is the white man's world. That's his stuff that he's doing. If you're going to join in that, you can expect racism. You can expect discrimination. It's like when the first black man went to the MLB. Hank Aaron, that's his name, Jackie Robinson and whatnot. When they first time going into the white man's sports, they were getting treated all types of ways. You can expect it. Any brothers have any comments they want to say about it?
I just add in, Cap. That's essentially what's going to happen. You get treated racist in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? You're discriminated against in, the NFL. A perfect example would be, Ray Rice, and then the devil who beat up the sister here recently. The one that's missing some chromosomes. So there's definitely, a difference in the major sports. So imagine what's going to happen, in these sports where there's barely any black people in the stands, let alone, in the sport itself.
Mm-hmm. When you're dealing with sports, you're dealing with a lot of racism. That's one of the reasons I couldn't last in football. It was the racism.
And if I'm
go ahead, Ward.
So like if I may, on the pause I was saying, it's very, very heavy. A lot of our people, they get misguided by, okay, you're making all these millions, you live in these lavish houses and all that stuff. But a lot of people don't realize you still can't escape that like you said, racism. You can't escape the simple fact that a certain race of people hate you, and they're never going to accept you no matter how good you shoot the ball in the basket, no matter how fast you run on the field. It doesn't matter how you can't like buy yourself out of racism and away from the oppression that America's put on us. You can't escape from that no matter what type of position you put in. And it just goes to show it doesn't matter. Like you said, in every sport we dominate, but at the end of the day, every year, it's always some racism that goes on between that sport, whether it's the fans calling you this, that, the other, or it's your opponents treating you a certain way. Like you can't escape this. You can't escape it no matter how hard you try. That's why it makes more sense to join with your brothers in arms as opposed to trying to join in America, thinking you can buy your way out of this oppression. It has never worked. We've been doing this for, I don't know, like you said, since Hank Aaron. We've been doing this for so long, since the 50s, 60s, 40s. We can't escape this. It goes to show that at some point in time, we actually need to just sit down and realize what the hell is going on. And that's just all I got to say. You got something to say?
No, you brung it out. That was heavy.
Yeah, right. So, yeah, and so you're going to experience that racism in sports, man. You're going to experience it. I remember when I played high school football, there was a white team that was very, very well known. And we had a good chance to beat them. But our coach kept running the same play over and over and over again, like he wasn't trying to win the game. We had some new white coaches because we had got new players from other schools. So we had new white coaches all of a sudden. Before, when we were struggling, we had black coaches. Then when we get all these other players, now here come the white guys. Like what the fuck? So then when we played the big white school and we got a chance to embarrass them, it was their homecoming. The coach kept running the same exact play. And we'd like, what's going, we're looking at it like, what the hell? The coach told us out. And it's the same in football where we got all the black players, but you always got a white quarterback. That's obviously racism right there. The fact that there's always a white quarterback. That's by design. They're doing that on purpose. So that's what we're dealing with in the sports world. All right. Let's get this next story. This is a real big story in the news and all over social media. Mother arrested after leaving kids in hotel room while she worked at nearby pizza shop. A mother in Youngstown, Ohio, was arrested and charged with child endangerment after she left her 2 children inside a hotel room while she went to work at a nearby pizza shop. 24-year-old Shina Bell was arrested. on child endangerment charges after someone called police reporting that 2 children ages 9 and 3 were left in a township motel room alone. Police were called to the motel around 6:15 Thursday, February 11th, to check on the 2 children who were left alone when their mother went to work at a pizza shop. A Trumbull County Children's Service caseworker was called, and according to the report, the children were to go to their father, the outlet reported. Bell pleaded not guilty Friday to 2 counts of child endangerment and was released on a personal recognizance bond. Her pretrial hearing is set for April 7th. So much going on in here. Go ahead, Ward.
Hey, if I could, this actually kind of hit home for me because when I wasn't 9, I was like 11, maybe 11 or 12. My mom had me and my little sister in the same situation. It wasn't that she was so much neglecting us, but somebody had to work, somebody had to pay the bills. Obviously, us is 10, 11, and 1 or 2. We can't do that. And the way the trials and errors that come with America for the black woman is going to be a lot of single parent homes. So I remember vividly one night my mom setting up everything, making sure I had everything I needed. But I was 10, 11, and I had to watch my sister that night, and she worked nights, so it was a third shift. So this hit home. I understand exactly what the sister was going through, me personally, and I understand it wasn't malicious, it wasn't vicious. It was somebody got to make something happen, and I'm the only source.
If I could,
go ahead.
It's a couple things. One, Esau, your oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of, man. This is a sister that's, I could see if she was out thotting or trying to do something, to seek pleasure, something like that. But this sister is like many other so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, just trying to get it. You know what I mean? Just trying to find a way to live, trying to make that bread. So, you know what I'm saying? My heart goes out to those sisters and even those brothers that's in that position where they got to do things, or they feel they got to do things, where they ain't got no other way out. Like for her, this was probably the only solution. She probably didn't have, childcare, because if she did, she would have left them there. The second thing is that, man, these brothers and sisters, man, anybody who's in this situation, come join the ISUBK, man. You want a solution to this. You want a solution to not having somebody watch your kids. Not that we're a babysitting organization, but we have something in the school called brotherhood and sisterhood. And, when brothers and sisters are struggling, this is where a nation comes in handy. Like right now, we don't, we're separated as a nation, we're divided. But as we continue, as the ISUBK starts to build this nation, like our sisters won't have to worry about this. Our brothers won't have to worry about this. We'll have you'll have an extended family. So.
Damn right. And something that was heavy with the story, if you notice at the end, it said, and nobody talked about this, that the children were given to their father. Y'all see that? The children were given to their father at the end of this. I blame the Christian church and America, because America and the Christian church has taught black women to be so independent that they done independent their ass into jail. They done independent their ass into destruction. This is the example of what this America wanted, what the Christian church wanted. They wanted independent women. Feminist movement, they wanted independent women. Don't gotta take nothing from no man. Don't gotta take no abuse from no man. Look, she's independent. She's working a job, raising kids. She's supposed to be, this is America's dream right here. So she in actuality is a victim of social engineering by the oppressor through the vehicle, which is that Christian church. Because if she learned from Israelite culture, she would more than likely be with that husband or be co-parenting with that husband, with that man. Like, why isn't she co-parenting if the father is stable enough to take custody of the children? You see what I mean? But America teaches our women, oh, you independent, you do bad all by yourself, you don't need no man, put them on child support. And look at the result of all that bullshit propaganda. when in actuality she should have been co-parenting. Them kids should have been with their father. More kids should be with their father than kids with their mother. At the end of the day, I mean, if you have a stable father, then kids are better off with that father, because that father can get another woman easily to take place of the mother. A woman is not easily going to take and find another man to take the place of a father to them children.
And so, like, if I may say, what you bringing up is very, very heavy, because a lot of women, when we talk about bring God having multiple wives, they think of like sexual deviation and you want a threesome and all that stuff, when they don't realize that's not lawful to do any of that. When we say have another woman, it's to help you out when you get low. You know, you might have to slave 6 days out the week. Well, if I got another rib, she can take on watching the kids while you slave, and you ain't got nothing to worry about. I can still do my priestly duty. We got the rib, I got my other rib at the house, watching the kids and all that stuff, making sure they all right, and you can be at work getting the money and doing what you're supposed to do. And a lot of women, they don't think like that. They're too prideful to say, you know what, that does make sense, because a lot of people say it takes a village to raise a child. Well, what's wrong with a man having another woman who's not just for sex, but actually for financial and everything else to help you out? You know what I'm saying? And vice versa, when she goes to work, you can be watching the kids and all that stuff. It just makes things more simpler. But like you said, a lot of women are too prideful and say, I don't need no man. Oh, you can have multiple wives. I mean, that's the American spirit.
Hold on. And if I could, this sister that's going through this, you know, like I said, I definitely, you know what I'm saying, I've been the child in that position. So I understand, you know, where she's coming from. But a sister like this would be the same sister to tell you, I'm the only woman you can have. You understand? I'm the only woman you can deal with. When obviously this sister needs help. She's living at a hotel room, can't find nobody to watch the kids, and worked at a nearby pizza shop.
Right.
I mean, obviously you need damn help. I mean, it's that simple. But instead of humbling down and saying, okay, I'll let my man, whether it's him or another woman or whomever it is, help this situation, she'd rather put her kids in that situation. And that comes from what America breeds on our people, especially on our sisters. Because America will teach you don't need nobody. This, that, and the third, like Cap was bringing out earlier, so heavy. But at the end of the day, you end up in situations like this. This is sad. This is pathetic. Should nobody be in this situation? You understand? But because America tells you a man should love you, you and only you, when you ain't did nothing but Lord knows what your whole damn life, this is what you end up with. And this is the sad reality of what our sisters are, not only our sisters, but what our sisters is putting our children through, because they don't want to get away from pride and humble down to a real man, humble down to the father and say, okay, this is your son, this is your daughter, whomever. How do you want to proceed with this? How do you want to deal with this? If that sister did that, she wouldn't be in a hotel room, arrested in a hotel room, working at a pizza shop. Oh, I'm sorry, it's lucky. I just can't see it that way.
Yeah, and the ones who suffer the most is the children and our people, because those children got to grow up, and they're gonna grow up and they're gonna be brothers and sisters you see walking around, and without that guidance through that Christian church and through the conditioning in America, those children have to grow up splintered and suffering. It's a sad thing. It's a sad day. You know what I mean? This just lets you know that the Christian church has failed. All right? The Christian church has failed our people. All right? Let's get to more stories. Oh, man, we got some good ones coming up. Hold on. Oh, man. Ain't this something? All right, let me pull the story up. Texas mayor resigns after telling residents without power during bitter cold snap to get off your ass. At a time when the Lone Star State is being battered by severe weather. Oh, hold on a sec. and pop-ups. Okay. Battered by severe winter weather, record cold, and widespread power outages, Tim Boyd, the far-right Republican mayor of Colorado City, Texas, lambasted residents of his city. This thing keeps popping up. Okay, hold on one sec. All right. He's okay. Lambasted city complained about being without electricity. Houston, San Antonio, Texas have been rocked with cold weather. Wouldn't be unusual for Boston and Milwaukee. All right. So basically, the story keeps showing up with this pop-up thing. I'm gonna go into the next one. But in a nutshell, the mayor was saying the people need to basically get off their ass. They need to go make it happen. They need to find a way, make a way. And you know who he's talking to. He ain't talking to no rich white people. The rich white people, they had electricity. It's them poor blacks and Hispanics that didn't have electricity. Okay? And you know, he talking about them. Oh, get up off your ass, go make it happen, do this and that. Like, this is insane. These are the freaking, you the freaking mayor. You the government. You're supposed to be the ones who kick into gear when this shit go down, when shit like this happen. But they cowering behind themselves. You seen Senator Ted Cruz. Let me see if that's the next story. I don't want to jump ahead. The Senator Ted Cruz, if you know, he ran away. He ran to Mexico during the winter storm. And the same Mexico that they said they want to build a wall around. The same Mexico they said they want to build a wall around, and it wasn't no good. That's where he ran to, Cancun. So this is what they get. Y'all want to say anything about that?
Yeah, if I could. It's crazy. I want to share like a little personal story. I was working a slave one time. I was in the office, and this devil, it was a whole, devils were sitting around. They was talking about, it was somebody who died. It made national news. Somebody died. They were crossing a bridge, and I can't remember the city or the state, but the bridge collapsed. And so, they were like, well, a lot of these bridges across America, they've been, in place for, decades. And it's time that we go through and review, all the bridges in America. And, we got to prevent this from happening. So devils are sitting around on the slave. And one devil, right, and he shared the sentiments for all of them, basically. He was like, well, that's going to cost this country billions of dollars. And I just don't see why, one death is going to warrant, us spending billions of dollars as a country to go and repair all the bridges. And it's like, and I'm sitting here listening, and I'm like, this is before I was in the truth. And I'm like, damn, that's kind of foul. But the more I think about it now, that's just the whole mentality of devils. They don't give a damn about, lives. They only care about money and finances and greed. It's like this devil would rather see more people die than go through and spend paper, right? Something that's paper, like spend it on repairing bridges and making sure that everybody is safe. His whole thing was like, we shouldn't be spending all that money. The devil, listen, their whole spirit is just greed. It's all, when you look at them, just think about greed and lust and murder and kill. That's their whole spirit on them. And the same, spirit, you can find it in this article as well.
Damn right. This is the next one. Mom and daughter, 8 years old, die trying to warm up in a car during coldest night in 32 years. A grandmother and her 3 young grandchildren also died in a house fire in Houston, Texas, as over 1 million people lost power during the coldest night in 3 decades. They have died after running a car in the garage to try to keep warm in severe weather. Police in Houston, Texas, were carried out a welfare check at an address Tuesday where they found a family of 4 suffering from carbon monoxide poisoning. More than 1 million people lost power in Houston as demand for electricity soared during the coldest night in 32 years. 2 females were pronounced dead at the scene, and a man and a 7-year-old boy was rushed to the hospital. Initial indications are that car was running in the attached garage to create heat as the power is out. Cars and grills and generators should not be used in or near a building. Please bundle up and be aware of extreme danger carbon monoxide poses. Police have also warned that sitting in a car outdoors to stay warm can pose a carbon monoxide danger if the tailpipe is blocked by snow. There goes some images of the fire. A family died in the fire as well. This is them pushing the snow in the city and the lights. Like, I would say I couldn't imagine going through this, but being black in America, we know all too well how they will turn off your fucking lights and heat and electricity, even if it's cold outside. You understand? So, you know, black people been through something similar like this before, but the whole state is insane. The whole state electricity power grid went out. And this state that's supposed to be known for power, known for electricity and all that. This is of the Lord. I tell people now, this is of the Lord that this happened. Because Texas is a peculiar state. Texas is one of those states that love America. That love and stand for the red, white, and blue. They love and they stand for and they have a peculiar pride about themselves. You know, Texas has a peculiar pride about themselves, the inhabitants of Texas. That, you know, they're you know, can-do-it people, and they're pioneers, and they're rugged this and cowboys and this and that. And what this has showed is that the pride of their heart has deceived them, like the scripture says. The pride of these devils, these oppressors' heart has deceived them to where they thought something like this would never happen. So much so that their electrical grid wasn't even prepared for the cold temperatures. They said it was minutes or even seconds away from total meltdown of electricity in the entire state. What they did was they took power away from certain areas and gave powers to others. So it wouldn't be too much power, so the whole grid wouldn't go down. It wouldn't collapse. All right. And basically, some of the electricity helps run the natural gas. So when some of the electricity went too high, it was hard to run the natural gas. So without the natural gas, you wasn't getting the warmth. And so they had to take down the electricity so people could still get natural gas in other places. And pipes was freezing. The system was freezing. And it failed. But it was moments away from catastrophic failure. That's what they said. ERCOT said, which is the board that runs the electricity and the energy down there. Energy, reliable energy, whatever. So this is amazing to me. This is amazing to me because, I mean, they're so prideful in Texas about just being Texas. It's like, you know, what's that saying in the world? Everything's bigger in Texas, you know. They got so much pride in Texas, and this is the Lord hitting their pride and their ego. Because one of the reasons they're not have the fail-safes is because they want to be independent and they want to say, well, we need less government and we don't need all these government regulations. The same government regulations that they needed in this day. And they went a whole week without electricity, and not just a couple hours, a whole week damn near. Any brothers got something they want to drop on it?
I was just gonna say, I mean, really, like you said, you hit it on the head. It ain't really much to add to it, but this is definitely of the Lord. And all of them, not just Texas, all of America, all of Esau's empire, all the oppressors here, just get ready for that same humbling. It's more coming. That's all I can say.
Damn right.
Yeah, and just on this story alone, like I said, I didn't speak on it, but I was talking to somebody. The Texas in itself I feel like it should have been more prepared. Of course, they're not used to, what everything that just went down, but you should have stipulations in place for your city. The only thing this proves is America is horrible at being a leader and being prepared for whatever comes. You understand? In the UPK, just like Commander General Yohana, he put out a decree for us to be prepared for whatever comes. You know what I'm saying? As far as getting your winter supplement, or not supplements, but certain things pertaining to winter and being prepared for whatever is to come. Texas should have been doing this in the first place. Everything's bigger in Texas. Everything, is supposed to be greater in Texas, but a little cold weather shuts you down. And that just shows you really ain't about what you're talking about. And you put your people in jeopardy. And then pertaining to that article you had just brung out, where I don't know if it was the governor or senator, whoever it was that was talking about people should have been prepared. They need to prepare on their own, blah, blah, blah. It just goes to show you that the leadership is horrible. Leadership in Texas is horrible right now. And a little cold, and all it took was a little cold weather to bring that out, to show that Texas doesn't have good leadership. There's no way your people are suffering at this rate, to where families are dying in cars, people are freezing in their own homes. You understand, things of that sort. So that's all I really wanted to say was Texas got to step his game up, but of course they won't, because this is America.
Right. And thank God for the brothers down there, Captain Kahantham Yad, Captain Yatazak, and Officer Shapat, Malak Waf, all the Texas brothers down there, Captain Yashamar, all the brothers down there that helped each other down there. I'm here. I see the reports of sisters and brothers coming together, making sure, buying generators for brothers, making sure that we taken care of down there. Like that should have been the first move, that we, stick together, that we come together. And thanks to the UPK, we have that. If you in the world, apparently the people that have been dying from the cold didn't have that. They didn't have somebody they can call and go stay with for this time and stay warm. Somebody who had electricity. I'll tell you now, if something like this happened in Indiana, where the whole state of Indiana had no electricity, guess what? We're gonna evacuate to Ohio, or to Louisville, or to Chicago, or to Detroit, or to St. Louis. We're gonna go where there's electricity and where we're safe, because we have leadership that put that in place for us. We have the scriptures that teach us these things. All right, I posted the scripture in Facebook earlier this week, where the scripture said, I'm gonna read it for you real quick. All right, let me get to scripture. Okay, Leviticus 25 and 35. And if thy brother be waxen poor and fallen in decay with thee. That's what happened. They fell in decay. House is catching on fire. Ain't got no electricity, no gas, no heat. The pipes was busting all over the damn place. Then thou shalt relieve him, yea, though he be a stranger or a sojourner, that he may live with thee. All right. Verse 36. Take thou no usury of him. Don't charge him nothing. Or increase, but fear thy God, that thy brother may live with thee. That's Israelite culture. In Israelite culture, we'd never have a brother freezing to death in his car, or in the damn garage, or a damn house catching on fire, or the water busting through every damn thing in the house, and he's in there swimming around. We wouldn't have that. We take care of our brothers like the law and the scriptures have told us to. So we don't trust in America. We trust in the Lord. We trust in these scriptures. And the Lord, and then I was looking, they was talking about Texas, how they didn't plow all the streets. I was noticing in Indianapolis, they didn't plow all the streets. I read in multiple news reports that certain cities and municipalities don't have the money to plow all these side streets. And I'm sitting here like, The Lord is breaking this kingdom down piece by piece. First, the year of a whole coronavirus, money went down. Productivity, they had 3 months where everybody was in the house. Productivity went all the way down, how much money they lost. Then they had to give out money for people. Now they don't even have hardly enough money for all the necessity of civil city services that they normally do. And that's, I suspect that has something to do with what went down in Texas. That, you know, the money is not there for them to run that whole grid like they really want to. That's probably part of the reason why they had to shut parts of the grid down. And why they couldn't, because I was thinking, like, Napata, get me wrong, I was thinking if something like this was going on, it would easily be you calling a National Guard. You would get them damn stadiums heated up, electricity and gas and heat, and put 100,000 people in the stadiums and put 100,000 people in this building and that building, so no person in the whole state has to be in a cold building. They didn't do none of that. Where was the response? What was the FEMA and the emergency responses units and all that? America prided itself on all that, you know, rapid response and shit. Where was all the rapid response? This is what we dealing with when we talking about a fallen state, a kingdom that's going down, and it's going farther and farther down. So you trusting in this place, it's only going to get worse. Soon they're not even going to have civil service, city services in certain parts of town. That's where the UPK, we're going to take over. We're going to take over. We'll put a little lot, and we'll put a flea market, trading market there. You come there and trade stuff and trade for goods, and we're going to run it. And he ain't going to have all these city services. UPK going to be the service. That's where it's coming to. Go ahead, brothers. Is somebody have something we'll drop on it before we go to the next story?
I'm to Wildcat.
Son of Christ. All right.
It's a Wildcat.
God, what's up, Christ? So let's get this next popping. This is a good story right here. I smiled in my spirit and my soul when I read this article. Texas weather crisis deepens Chinese belief they're on right path, says foreign ministry. All right, let's see the story. Chinese speaks on Texas. But if they're just gonna have music, I have to read it. All right, hold on. China's foreign ministry said on Friday that seeing the plight of Americans suffering in a severe winter storm that hit the state of Texas this week reinforced a belief among Chinese citizens that their country is on the right path. Look at that. Look at that. They feel they on the right path seeing America's citizens suffer in severe storm. They feel vindicated that they're doing the right thing. Because, you know, them Chinese people, they don't like the white man. You know, the white man had took over China for almost 100 years in Shanghai or whatnot. And so they're enemies. During her lengthy response made at regular ministry news conference, Hua repeated China's denial of abuse of Muslims in the region and said that Australia, Canada, and the United States had histories of genocide. But she also contrasted the vulnerability of many Texans with the festive experience of Chinese during the recently completed Lunar New Year holiday. Let's read down. She says, not to be wanting of food or clothing, not to be hungry or cold. This is the fundamental human right that is the most real, she said. In the meantime, in Texas, millions of people found themselves caught in the terrible situation of not having electricity and heating at home. A few tens of people have lost their lives because of this, she said. This gave the Chinese people deeper appreciation for what is the real human right and made us believe more strongly that China is on the right path. We are fully confident about our future, she said. The cold snap killed at least 21 people in Texas. knocked out 4 million people power in the state, 13 million Texans seeing interruption in water services. Since U.S.-China relations worsened during the previous administration of Donald Trump, many Chinese diplomats have taken on social media with an aggressively nationalistic posture known as wolf warrior diplomacy. Look at that. What do you brothers have to say about that?
Yeah, America should be ashamed. They got the Chinese saying that we doing it better than y'all. That's all I can say. America should be ashamed of this response, ashamed of the support, that the lack of support down there in Texas. If you got China, you know what I mean, got over 1 billion people, and many parts of that country is poor as hell. So if you got China saying that they doing all right versus America, America, you in trouble.
You damn right. Go ahead, Warrior. I have something on the drop.
No, Salaki, I was just gonna support what he was just saying. I mean, at the end of the day, if China is pointing you out, that should be a real like that's really being that's really low right there. I'm sorry, like you can't get no lower than China calling you out. Like if you really doing something to the point to where China looking at you like, yo, I don't know, yeah, you tripping. Like obviously. You dropping the ball, but that goes to the point I was just making. Like at the end of the day, the leadership of America, Texas, America in general is just horrible. Like there's no way that over 1 million people are without, you know what I'm saying, electricity or power or whatever, and now they sitting in the freezing cold because of what? Because you used to some warm weather, and you don't know how to make you know what I'm saying. Adjustments for whatever you need to make sure your people is okay. Why the heck are you in leadership? Why? Because it look good on your resume? Like, what's the point of you? Why are you even called a leader?
And Salaki, if I may, and the leaders, you know, like the scriptures say, when the wicked authority, the
people mourn.
The people mourn. Like, and this goes into like, you know, think about Ted Cruz. This oppressor, he didn't took himself over to Puerto Rico or Cancun. I forgot where he went.
I thought he went to Mexico.
I don't know where he went.
It was
Cancun.
Okay.
He done went to Cancun, and look, he did that right on time. You telling me you could have went to Cancun, but once it get cold, power gets shut off. Oh, we going to Cancun. We gonna go ahead and get ourselves out of here, and that shows that the people mourn because that obviously righteous authority are not in place. If you so-called the senator of Texas, you need to be right there in the slums going through that. But the crazy thing about it is the brothers in UPK, we right in the slums. We going through it with them. You got brothers out there that's going through it with the people. And guess what? They're helping the people out. But our people going to reject us and say, you know what? Y'all not here for us. Y'all don't care about it. But we going through the same struggle and oppression that you going through. But we also call leaders, your people that you voted in, they're nowhere to be found when as it's saying, when mess hits the fan. I don't want to cuss, but when mess hits the fan, that's what's going on. They're running, they're hiding. They use their money and say, we're going to another one. Like when shit hits the fan, and we all know that when shit hits the fan, you know, people running, and that goes to show who is. It goes to show that the righteous are not in authority right now. The brothers in the UPK, I applaud them brothers for doing the heavy brickwork they're doing right down in Texas, because they're not running. They're not saying, you know what, we're going to go ahead up north. We're going to go here to another. No, them brothers going through the same struggle that the people are going through. But you know what? The people look at us like we villains. But who the real villains? We going through the struggle just like you. We ain't got no power. We struggling. But guess what? We're here for our people. What is your senator doing? What is the president doing? Joe Biden has been mighty quiet when it comes to this, man. He ain't said a word.
And if I could, I want to say something about that, because there's multiple things that went down. All right, first they had one of the mayors or senators or congressmen or whatever from Texas, and Ted Cruz. Basically, what happened? There was a storm in the Northeast a couple years back. And Senator Ted Cruz said he didn't want no money from Texas going to the Northeast to help them. He said, you know, he didn't want it. So he voted against it and said, like, you know, we shouldn't send no money to them. They should take care of it themselves. And now So basically, Joe Biden and the government is like looking at Texas like, okay, you guys are on your own on this. We're not sending no money to you guys because your state is the same state that said multiple times that we shouldn't be sending no money to nobody else. That every state should be independent. And it's backfiring on them.
I bit him in the ass.
Yeah, because the news lady, the newscaster brought it up to him, and he's like, well, we don't have time for political sniping. She's like, no, that's not political sniping. That's exactly what is going on in this same situation. What you said. You said you didn't want your state to send aid to no other states. That every state should basically look out for their damn self. So why are you now looking for aid from the federal government in other states? He's like, oh, yeah, he tried to, walk around it. But, man, Ted Cruz, he looked like a slime ball. He looked like the guy that's all, trying to figure out every way to get over. And like in the movie, there's always that one guy who's like leaving everybody to try to run and escape himself. And then he gets fucked up because he tries to escape. And then the shit get him. That's Ted Cruz, man. That's Senator Ted Cruz. First you talk shit about Mexico, then you got to run to Mexico. Then you talk shit about the other states. Then now you need the other states to help you. You just sit there with egg on your face. Go ahead, Warrior.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, if I could, America ain't hit its lowest yet, but when Africa be like, yeah, we're on the right track. The Africa gonna be doing the article next. Yeah, we're on the right track. America, they really messed up.
Hell yeah. Hey man, it is horrible what's going on down there. It is just, like I said, it's just amazing to me because Texas is one of those proud states. Like Lone Star State. They by themselves. They got their own power, electricity. They don't need no help. And they just so proud of their state. And look at their state. You know what I mean? So that shows not to trust in America, not to trust in this government, not to trust in this place. If you Black, Hispanic, and Native American, trust in the Israelite School of UPK, Commander Yohanan, the priests and prophets of the Lord. That's who you should trust in, the Most High. Okay? Let these heathens trust in their shit. And when it fails, they can all die, fail with it. You shouldn't be that way, black man. So let's get this last story. This one's definitely a banger, a good story to end it on. Because this lady is just weird to me. Mayor Lori Lightfoot. Hold on a second. Chicago spent $281.5 million in federal coronavirus relief on police payroll. That's 1 year. Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot. Let's get the story, Salaki. Yep, there you go. Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot's administration spent $281.5 million in federal relief on paychecks of Chicago Police Department, a move that is drawing harsh criticism from Chicago aldermen and activists. The CARES Act money was transferred to the police department and used largely to pay for police officers' overtime hours rather than coronavirus priorities, cited by critics, such as housing and business relief and vaccine rollout efforts. We asked for assurance they wouldn't spend it all on police, Alderman Daniel LaSpada, First Ward, said on Wednesday. That's the last thing people wanted, to infuse hundreds of millions of dollars into the police department right now. And just as egregious, we learned that $68 million of that funding was never spent at all. So we have every right to be angry because every neighbor who was denied housing assistance, we were prepared. We could have offered them that assistance. Every vacant storefront you see is a small business we could have supported with these dollars. Lightfoot, a Democrat, is currently seeking the Chicago City Council approval for rollover into the 2021 budget. Approximately $65 million left over from the city's $1.2 billion in federal coronavirus funds. The Office of Management Budget said that the funding routed to police department was federal reimbursement for specific coronavirus-related costs dating March through May, including police wellness checks on residents, airport security when travelers were screened for coronavirus, and blah, blah, blah. The mayor has not yet commented on backlash over the funds being transferred to the police department, right? And another part of the story that's not on here that had more of the breakdown said that basically it's like if Chicago got $100, $68 went to the police department, 68 out of the $100. And they said like $10 went to hospitals, $5 went to coronavirus relief things and this and that, and a couple dollars, like $2 went to elderly people and all this and that. And the police basically sucked up all the fucking money. That was for the people. That was for the people to live and survive, and businesses to recoup. The fucking police department got it all. And they didn't even spend it all. They still have $68 million left over. See, this is the fucking problem with these damn politicians, man. This is a problem with these leaders. These black ass, coon ass Christian leaders. You understand? Like this wench right here, like this damn filthy bald head bed wench. Every insult in the book I have for her. You understand? Like, I'm glad they had all the memes about her ass. They need to bring them all back because she is despicable. After all this was been going on to black people, she's going to give all the money to the cops. This is my another problem I have with all these black Christians, like we did last week, who want to say about we need to do this, we need to do that for the community to stop police violence. If you want to stop if you want to stop black on black crimes and the crimes of the shooting and the violence, give every black male from 18 to 35 a $30 an hour job, part-time and full-time. No questions asked. Felonies accepted. No drug tests. Just straight up hire you just coming in the door for being a black male, 18 to 35. And you'll be making $30 an hour doing menial, any little job in the city to help anything. Helping people get on with Section 8. Helping people be call-in lines. Just hundreds of thousands of jobs for black men. That'll stop the crime.
So, like, if I may, sir, what you bringing out is so heavy because this ties back to what we just talking to. When the rights and authority, man, the people do not mourn. Obviously, this prideful woman thinks she knows what she's doing, and you spending $281.5 million in federal on the police, the same police that's been killing us in the street like dogs, and you gonna sit there and spend it on them for what? Nothing has changed when they. I mean, the police force was established just to keep Negroes in control. That's the only way the police came about. Outside of that, there's no other role for the police. So for her to be, for this to be coming out, it go to show that the Most High is going to deal with America in such a vengeance. It's going to be crazy, and it's showing because it's these frigid weathers. Even warm places are not safe. He's trying to weed out all this wickedness and let it be known. I'm here and I'm here to stay. And it goes to show 281.5. You could have got that to the hood, man. You could have got it to the people, like you said. Raise brothers' money so they don't have to drug deal and do all that stuff. You want brothers not to drug dealing, and we understand, and Most High doesn't want that either. But we're not getting paid. It's not getting paid enough. We're getting situations where I'm not saying in the world I would understand why brothers would do that, but you can't understand that it's a better route. But still, brothers that don't know about the UPK, they're gonna resort to other extreme measures to make sure that they wives, they kids, they side chicks out. It's all straight, and this goes to show how wicked America is and how cooned out our own people that's so-called in authority that cares about us. It shows the true foe. 281.5 million is ridiculous on police payroll. What? The police took an oath, just like we take an oath. But our oath, we stand by it. But the police, they take an oath, and they understand that when you take that oath, you might die in this. You might go through this, that, and the other. You already get enough benefits already. Why should we spend up your check for you to kill more Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians? when you're not even doing your job. All you doing is nigger hunting, hunting down for your own people. You're not hunting down oppressors, nothing like that. You hunt down your own people, trying to put them in jails and all that stuff, trying to get your quota and all that stuff. At the end of the day, it goes to show how wicked America is. And like what you're saying is so heavy, man. 281 points. That doesn't make sense. Chicago is like the capital for like almost gang violence, man. You're gonna get into the hood and help the hood out. But you want to get to the police payroll, the same wicked oppressors that don't care nothing about it. Don't care nothing about Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. And you a Black woman yourself goes to show why a woman, first and foremost, should not be an authority because she doesn't understand anything. I wouldn't be surprised if she's married to an oppressor. Because it goes to show, like you said, we coon all the way out, man. And this is ridiculous. 281.5 million?
Or she just married to.
And this is just 1 year. This ain't even like over 20 years or something. This is 2020 shit that they got an extra money from the federal government and they decided to give over 50% of it to the police. This is insane. While you got brothers in starving, businesses going out of business, children, people can't pay their rents, can't pay their light bills, can't pay their car notes, getting cars repoed and everything. Every financial trouble is hitting everybody in Chicago, but you ain't gave this money to none of them. You giving it to motherfuckers who got solid jobs and already getting paid good money, already got work. It's right. It's insane.
And this, if any Black, Hispanic, and Indian doesn't understand how crazy this is, then you don't love your people. And it's Black History Month. I don't care if you post Black history every day. If you don't realize what she's doing and how wicked this is, then you're insane. Like you said, you're insane and you don't care about your people. I don't care. That's why I don't support no Black History Month, because you don't care about your people. You don't care about what we going through. You're proud Black for 1 day, for 1 month, but outside of that, any other day you're cooled out. I'm cool, man. That's why I love the UPK and what we stand for, because we're proud for Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians 24/7, 7 days a week. We don't care about no month. We don't need no Pacific month to be proud or what we stand on, who we are. We're proud 24/7, man. But leave it to our people in America. We only proud on February, but once February over with, we're back to cooning and we're back to doing this, that, and the other. This is ridiculous, man. And this can, like you said, this could have helped out the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian community. This 281.5 million is ridiculous, man. You could have paid off all Chicago.
You know how many rents that paid for?
I was just about to say that, sir. Just all you could have paid off all the Chicago's rents in the hoods. All their rents with this, where they ain't got to worry. With every check they get that to make sure that the heat stays on, that they get the food and everything else. They get the car, whatever they need to get around. But no, we're moving to the police payroll. The Lord gonna deal with we already know the Lord gonna deal with this. But good night, man. This is disgusting to me. 281.5 million. Where $1 million alone could have took care of the hoods alone, man. And I need to vote every 4 years for the right. You got something to say on this?
Nah, man. It was heavy. It's crazy, man.
I need to vote every 4 to 8 years on some people that don't even give a damn about us, man. I don't care how you look. You're not in the UPK. Get the hell on, man. That's just what I stand on. I don't give a damn what. I don't care about nothing else. You not UPK, I do not, like I said, I do not trust your judgment, man. This doesn't 281.5 million. Chicago is the capital of gang violence. Come on, man. That's all I gotta say.
And we at the end of the time. Napatazal, you want to give a last remarks?
No, I mean that story is similar to the story we covered on Tuesday, where the doctor, some big head educated Negro, his solution was to implement more police involvement in the community and giving them more money. Black people, so-called leadership, their only solution is to hand over authority to another nation. They don't understand what it is to get authority and maintain authority and raise up the people righteously. They immediately give authority to the police or somebody else to do their job. So again, it's just another example of like McQuarrie was bringing out, poor leadership. You know what I mean? A sister who has no idea what the hell she's doing. And then just the wickedness of America and how you got money just sitting there when people could use that money. So this is an all around evil, disgusting, despicable story. And I pray that the Lord hurries the judgment on America and burns this shit down to the ground. Damn right. And like what McQuarrie said, $1 million. If you just give $1 million, broke it up to $10,000, $1,000 a piece, and just gave it to the poorest black people that needed it the most. You know, brothers taking care of families and women. You know, you could have gave, you know, just $1 million. Just gave everybody thousands, $1,000. That would have helped so much. That's just $1 million. We're not talking about 10 or 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 or 60 or 100 million, 150 million, 180 million, 190 million, 200 million, 250 million, 260 million. We talking $280 million, $281 million and $500,000. That would have took the entire black community out of poverty for about 5 or 6 years easily. That amount of money. And even if black people just had an opportunity to work for it, it took the entire black community out of poverty. But that goes to show you that they don't care about us. You know what I mean? Like Michael Jackson said in that song, they don't care. They want the money for themselves and for their own gain. And go ahead.
And if I may, what you say is funny because Michael Jackson and Tupac, two iconic figures, you know, that so-called was black, pro-black and all this stuff. Outside of Michael Jackson, I mean, I don't know what happened with him, but we're talking about, you know,
as far back at the end of his life.
You said what?
He's pro-black at the end of his life.
Right, exactly. He's pro-black at the end of his life. But ironically, like you said, they don't care about us. They both made songs about that. But our people, they love these iconic figures, but they never with them two songs. They never listened to what they were saying. It's ironic. They had the same time. Tupac said they don't give a fuck about us. Michael Jackson said they don't care about it. But at the end of the day, they know who they was talking about. And our people don't realize that. We worship every other holiday and this, that, and the other. But at the end of our game, these people don't care about us. But we want to care about them.
We had a time, Warriors. Everybody catch us again Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Friday night, 9 p.m. Kentucky A Radio. Shalom, Makim. It's good seeing y'all. Shalom, Lord Christ.
Shalom, Lord Christ.
Shalom.
On this day in Louisville, Kentucky, these 8 men went to camp to speak the words of the Most High Power.